Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dear the Venerable Sangha, the Buddha period, Buddha time, Buddha had been traveling to the various places for preaching Dhamma. Sometimes in Jambudvipa means India, not only the India, whole land area Buddha had been walking various ways. Sometimes by the using the psychic power, Buddha had been going to the other universe even. Very far away, Buddha had been going and preaching Dhamma. One occasion, the Buddha go to the Buddha's native place, Buddha's hometown. Buddha had the two side relatives. One side is Sakya, his father's side, and the side is Kolya, his mother's side. So both two kingdoms. That this kingdom boundary is the river. River name is Rohini river. The river water gradually had been reducing. So later both sides had been fighting. Buddha knew it. They are going to have a very big fight. Buddha knew it and go there and appear on the sky of the river. Middle of the river is sky, Buddha appearing. Both the relatives see Buddha come. So Buddha understood they are going to fight. Asked, you are going to fight? Yes, they are going to fight. So then both they pay respect Buddha and ask questions. What for you are fighting? What is the origin point? What is the things you are going to fight? Kings cannot give the proper answer. And deputy kings also cannot give the proper answers. And also commandos, soldiers cannot give proper answers. Finally come up to the farmers. Farmers given proper answer said, Venerable Bhante, we had been having the paddy plantation using this water, river water. Now river water not enough for us to do the plantation, to grow the paddy. So one side is enough, but both sides paddy plantation not enough water. So if we try to get the water of both sides, no results, no harvest. So we ask, one side says, please give this water to our side. Other side people says, please give this water to our side. Finally, not agree. Both sides not agree. Then argument, then fighting. This fighting gradually go up to the king. That's the main reason. they had been explaining. Buddha said that relatives, the water, you are fighting for the water. Which one is more valuable, water or your lives? They understood, lives valuable. Buddha said, you see, the water you take to your field and absorb to the earth, disappear. But your lives is different. Please protect your life. Please keep your life. This is not the way of the happiness. Way of the happiness is the loving kindness. Way of the happiness, Buddha had been explaining with the Dhammapada. Buddha had been teaching 3 Dhammapada verses to preach Dhamma to the relatives. First verse, Susukhaṁ vata jīvāma verinesu averino verinesu manussesu viharāma averino. And that Buddha had been explaining how to live the living happily with the loving kindness or averi, that with there will not hatred, no hatred, and living the happy with the non-hatred. So then among the human beings, they have the hatred. Among them, live non-hatred. Same way, second verse Buddha explained, Susukhaṁ vata jīvāma āturesu anāturā, āturesu manussesu viharāma anāturā. That in the world, many defilement sicknesses. Many sicknesses they have in the worldly people, many defilement sicknesses. Among the defilement sick people, live happily without the defilement sicknesses. Among the human beings, we live no defilement sicknesses. In third verse, Buddha explaining, Susukhaṁ vata jīvāma ussukesu anussukā, ussukesu manussesu viharāma anussukā. In the worldly beings, they are effortful for the sensual 5 sense object, the sensual pleasure object, 5 object. In the worldly beings, they are effortful. Among them, we are not effortful for it, then can live happily. So then among the human beings also will live no effortful for the 5 sensual object. So Buddha had been explaining these 3 things. First one, live happily with the loving kindness or averi, no hatred. And second one, live happily with the no defilement sicknesses. Third one, live happily with the no craving, no effortful for the 5 sensual objects. So Buddha had been explaining these 3 verses and Dhamma. Many of the relatives and many listeners, they had been having that faith and listen Dhamma. Among them, many could attain path fruitions. So the Buddha had been explaining few things there. One thing is living with the loving kindness or that no hatred living. Another one is defilements less, no defilements living, also happy. And one Buddha says, not effortful for the 5 sensual object. So among these things, very clear thing is loving kindness or metta. It is common thing in a Buddha's teaching. Buddha always encouraged loving kindness, please train this loving kindness that keep as the vehicle, loving kindness keep as the weapon tool. You always can associate it, life become very comfortable, very joyful, you can live very happily. This is the general meaning. So how we can build up the life up to the loving kindness level? What Buddha expected? Our loving kindness, how we bring up to that level? So various answers we can give. Someone of you can say, oh, we have trained more loving kindness object. That's true. It was one object. But all the wholesome objects can build up the loving kindness. Any of the wholesome you are maintaining, your loving kindness power is increasing. You can see these few days you are meditating continuously, your meditation power is increasing. So gradually your loving kindness power also increasing. Why it happening? Wholesome object, all the wholesome object contain beautiful mental factors, wholesome mental factors. Among these wholesome mental factors, one is called adosa, not hatred of mental factor. That means loving kindness mental factor is growing, increasing. You are maintaining whole day meditation object means your loving kindness mental factor also increasing. Naturally your loving kindness power becomes stable, life is stable. So if you want to live happily, means you have to train more and more wholesome object whole day as much as possible. Train wholesome objects. Then you can stabilize your loving kindness. This is the basic way. But there are some other methods we will explain later. So the metta or loving kindness, we explain all the wholesome objects that contain this energy. If anyone train wholesome object, so gradually power is increasing, they have the more loving kindness energy. You can see some of the devotees, they are very respectful to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. They are giving a lot of dana, but not much practicing. Only dana, but they are rejoicing. Oh, we done this kind of dana. They are rejoicing. So finally, their merits power very stronger. Because every day giving some dana and rejoice, giving some dana and rejoice. So that sometimes later, anything that they want to give, very easy give. Mentally very relaxed, mentally very comfortable, mentally very softer. So loving kindness all the time there. Because this no any meditation, but only the dana continuously train it, loving kindness become very stronger. Because wholesome object. Training this wholesome object again, that person become more loving kind person. You can see Anathapindika, Visakha, they don't have much practicing, but they are training this kind of thing again, rejoice this kind of thing again. Their power is increasing, wholesome power increasing all the time. Their loving kindness energy there. Why it come? Because of the wholesome object. Some venerables you can see, they are not much practicing, but they are all the time maintaining their sila. So their sila, that moral training, 10 precepts or 227 precepts, they are maintaining and reflecting, it become wholesome object. Later, he also have the very strong loving kindness because of the sila power. The sila grow with the loving kindness. So some of the venerables we see, daily they are doing a lot of chanting. Buddha Vandana morning, chanting, and also some parita chanting, they are doing a lot of pujas. Also developing the wholesome object. That object also, gradually their loving kindness power is increasing. After some times, they have more loving kindness, more metta, because of the wholesome object. Now you understand, all the wholesome objects, if anyone train continuously, can build up the loving kindness. So this basic training of the loving kindness, so that next the few days for our retreat, we determine, train wholesome object as much as possible. Then your loving kindness power is increasing. Using the 4 base of mindfulness, using the wholesome object, we determine and train. So gradually your loving kindness power is strong and stabilized. So if in this life, if not attain path portions, your dying moment very smooth, very comfortable. Next life also very smooth and comfortable. So one day very easily you can attain path portions. till then the energy of the loving kindness more valuable. You are training wholesome object, inside you can't see your other mental practice growing. This loving kindness mental practice growing. So meditators, they have to practice effortfully until their loving kindness power very stronger. So the meditation object. We know that you are training meditation object, internally you are growing mental factors, beautiful mental factors. Mental factor power is increasing, in the same time you are increasing your karma power. Those two powers we can't see. But you can see the meditation is growing, you can see the meditation is better now. But internally mental factors is growing. So these mental factors gradually become stronger and stronger. Your karma also become stronger and stronger. Later karma become very powerful karma. Can get the results anytime. When you are dying time, this kind of karma immediately come, and if you not attain path portion, go to the good life. Because of strongest karma. So meditator, he had to understand visible energy and invisible energy. Invisible energy is your mental factors and karmic power. Visible power, you can see you are a good person, you are now bodily good, this kind of thing. So that in the world, all the things got two sides, visible thing and invisible thing. Example, you are eating food. When you are eating food time, visible part you can see, your bodily energy, nutrition become better. You get your stomach full, bodily energy come. You feel that material absorptions and energy absorptions, nutrition. But invisible energy you can see when you are eating time. You mentally also need food. Mentally also need some of the nutrition. This mental nutrition is gathering from it when you are eating time. Mind need object to continue. If not, mind cannot continue. Objects is, oh, food is delicious. Food is very good. With this food is nutritious. These are not nutritious. So many mental objects also continue. Two things happening. When you are eating food, one thing is your bodily nutrition happening. Another thing is your mental object also that continue. Two things happening like that. In the world, all the objects, all the things, visible things also happening, invisible things also happening. Visible things we can say material, invisible thing we can say mentalities. So like that, when you are training meditation object, visible energy also you can increase, invisible energy, your mental factors, and also your karmic energy is increasing. Meditator, he had to understand these things. Because of this understanding, he had to train effortful practice. After understanding, train effortful practice. Effortfulness is very important to maintain wholesome object. You know the wholesome object, if you train, wholesome energy is increasing, wholesome mental factors, wholesome karmic energy. And also, unwholesome power you have to reduce, wholesome energy you have to increase, then only life become more and more stable, life become more and more happier life. This is Buddha's teaching, very easy, anyone understand. But practicing not easy. Practicing, we need effortfulness. If no enough effort, you cannot have the results. So meditators first have to understand this practice, what is happening by the practice, later effortfulness have to maintain. So the loving kindness we know, if you are training wholesome object, your loving kindness becomes stable up to the certain level. Sometimes you are all the time loving kind. But if not enough wisdom for you, some of the conditions, loving kindness can breakable. Example, you are more loving kindness now, someone come and blaming, and or someone come and assault you. easy your loving kindness breaking. Oh, why this person doing it? It is bad thing. It is harmful thing. Should not do it. Loving kindness temporarily power is reducing, but later again can train and can bring it up. But temporarily your loving kindness power gone. What is the reason? Your wisdom. Your wisdom not enough there to handle the loving kindness. If the wisdom enough to handle loving kindness can maintain it, someone come and blame, assault or anything, understand this nama rupa, this is no person, no being, I have to protect my loving kindness energy, I have to maintain it. So maintain loving kindness energy, even this kind of conditions, because wisdom there. If the wisdom there, loving kindness energy very easily maintained. These two together can do a big work. Only loving kindness energy cannot do big work. The wisdom also need to maintain loving kindness. So then you understand, wisdom also need to have the continuous loving kindness. How to build up it? You can think, later we'll explain. So the loving kindness, if you are training with any of the wholesome object, also can develop, or loving kindness, metta meditation object also can develop the loving kindness. So you are training it. When you are training, your loving kindness energy is growing. Others mental factors is growing. But wisdom growing, not happening. Little bit come up, but not happening. To have the wisdom, you have to go to the ultimate. Now you are developing the loving kindness with the conventional, easy get the break in the loving kindness energy. But you are training the ultimate object time to time. Example, you are sitting, meditation posture. Now that you are maintaining wholesome object. End of the posture, 10 or 15 minutes, you are practicing the vipassana little bit. You know that you had been practicing loving kindness whole day. This practicing the nama rupa, all the momentary changes there, anicca. Mentality and materiality all the time changes there, anicca. Because of these changes, dukkha, suffering. And also these changes we cannot maintain, we cannot control, anatta. So this kind of contemplation, anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanence, suffering, non-self. This kind of contemplations if you are doing, the contemplations power increase your nama rupa knowledge, ultimate knowledge, vipassana knowledge, wisdom. So together this vipassana practice, your wisdom factor, amoha mental factor, or wisdom mental factor become stronger and stronger, then you are more wiseful now. Now when you are training the loving kindness, some of the obstacles come, that time easily apply mentality and materiality, easily dissolve the object, easily continue your loving kindness. To continue your loving kindness, it is very important your adosa mental factor and wisdom mental factor. These two together, you can continue your loving kindness. This is the basic way, some other also there. So the loving kindness, we explain, adosa mental factor also had to grow, and panya, wisdom mental factor also had to grow. The adosa mental factor, you know that all the wholesome object contain. Panya, wisdom factor, vipassana object contain. So basically that you know that some of the metta method is explaining metta to the body, metta to the mind. That bodily, that happiness or comfortableness, and mentally also comfortableness, wishing. Also one of the way of the loving kindness. But that type of loving kindness cannot go to the absorption. After the access concentration can develop. Bodily also further can do that widely. You can focus bodily for element balancing. You can focus 28 type rupas energy. And also mentality you can focus or that all the wholesome energy is increasing, unwholesome energy is decreasing, mental factors increasing, and also 5 faculties increasing, bojjhangas one by one increasing. So this kind of wishes you can do. These wishes also develop in the loving kindness energy up to the access concentration level. If anyone up to the access level meditation power is there, easily go to jhana. Have to stop this kind of focus, have to focus the person being, then loving kindness can go to the absorption. Because to go to the absorption, we need person being focusing. But the bodily and mentality, if you focus, cannot go to the absorption. But your loving kindness energy also growing, wisdom energy also growing, both become stronger and stronger, easily maintain continuous loving kindness. So this kind of techniques, whatever the techniques you have to learn, you have to practice. Whole day you have to practice. Morning until night time, you have to practice. Then energy become better and better. You can see your meditation power is getting better and better. So to have the wisdom, need Nama-Rupa knowledge or that ultimate knowledge. To have the loving kindness, you need wholesome energies. So that meditators, their responsibility, training it as much as possible. If we have to go a little bit long journey in this practice, long journey, but you have to prepare for practice detail, practice continuous, and have the experience of this loving kindness and wisdom energies. So determine to continue this practice. It is very suitable, this intensive period and also Vassana period, to keep the determination and continue practice. So the venerables, majority we see more effortful. All we have to be effortful. Few we see little bit weakened. Those weakened venerable also had to be effortful. Actually our timetable very simple timetable, not strong one. Yeah, that very easily follow. If you cannot follow this timetable, means actually your effortfulness not enough. You can see that 7, 8 o'clock we are ending the day. So that later you can have personal time. So until Buddha Vandana, we have to continue this meditation. It also includes the meditation. So this timetable, following timetable, maintain our effortfulness, maintain our silent practice, then your effort is enough. If you cannot do it, means your effort is not enough to experience this kind of stronger loving kindness, this kind of stronger wisdom. You cannot experience definitely because your effort not enough. But if you maintain effort, means definitely you can experience. Later you can experience stronger loving kindness. Later you can experience stronger wisdom. So in the journey is quite longer, but we have to maintain this practice. We have to maintain effortful practice. So we know majority of you are more effortful. Work harder during this period. Wish all of you to continue this practice, experience deeper meditation results, and also shining your lives and shine the Buddha Sasana. Wish all of you to fulfill all the practice and attain all the path portions. And we share this merit together with all the worldly beings. Wish all of them fulfill their practice and attain all the path portions and Nibbana. We share the merits. Theruvan Saranai. Punyānamodana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idang o ñāte nang o to suketa ontu ñātayo. Idang o ñāte nang o to suketa ontu ñātayo. Idang o ñāte nang o to suketa ontu ñātayo. Ettavata camme sambatam punya sampadam. Sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattva anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattva ca bhummatta deva naga maitika. Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu sambuddha sāsanam. Cirang rakkantu sambuddha desana. Cirang rakkantu sambuddha sāvakam. Cirang rakkantu mamparante. Asming vihāre ca ārāme adivata ca devata. Anumoditva imam punyang rakkantu jina sāsanam. Sabbe tattā ca majjatā etā ca etā ca me. Anumoditva imam punyam bhajjantu amatam padam Imina punya kammena mame balasam Satan samagamo tu yava nibbana pattiya Kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katam Acchayam kamame bhatte puripanya tathagata Kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katam Acchayam kamame dhamma sandittika kalika Kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katam Acchayam kamame sangha punyaketta anuttara Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu